then what should I do? I don't want to get my work stopped. I just want only for a month and I will get, so many people. So I spoke one of my friend, his name is Mukesh Babu, and you may be knowing his wife name Mirabai now. So I asked Mukesh, very senior Maharaj. In fact, we were in Tirupati. We had a GBC meeting in Tirupati, and that time he asked me. And from Tirupati, I asked Mukesh. And Mukesh said, when will you get me back? I said, a month. So he said, okay. So we gave him 30 lakh rupees. But month passed, money did not come. So Mukesh started asking me, Prabhu, what happened to the money? Then I was under pressure. And I asked Maharaj that, Maharaj, look, donor or committee member, they work with me with my word. And I gave him word on your word. He said, why don't you do one thing? Take me to his house. I will talk to him. So I took him to Mukesh's house. And Maharaj is very good fundraiser. I thought only I was fundraiser, but he is better than me with his gentleman behavior. And he contacted Mukesh, and later on, after some time, he started calling from America, here, there, and so he got the money Mukesh after in 6 months' time. But 6 months' time was not for money to come, but 6 months' time was for get Mukesh's heart to Krishna consciousness. His wife, she became Maharaj fan, and later on she, took initiation from Maharaj, and till today she pays, like over $100,000 per month to maintain Ujjain temple till today. So many a time I said, Maharaj, I will never introduce any of my donor. I did biggest mistake. Then he used to laugh. He said, well, I am only your servant. I am only your servant. I serve them to become devotee. What sin I did? I said, yeah, but I am looking at their money. They are not giving to me, they are giving to you now, disciple. So yeah, we can have a humorous relationship like that. And whenever Maharaj came, he really loved natural ice cream. So he used to stay in a guest house, and he had disciple, Mr. Baga and his wife. They used to cook, and Maharaj made sure that we are taking lunch together. And then after lunch, he had sugar problem. Still, he wanted to eat ice cream. So he used to arrange that natural ice cream, and we used to have. Anyway, before, he came to America in Corona time. I was very disturbed in Corona time actually, because many things were new. Temple was closed, of course. Even we cannot take Charanamrit. Even we cannot get this, Lord Paduka. Then I was very disturbed. The Charanamrit is Lord Charanamrit, the transcendental. Why not? Why Charanamrit you cannot take it? And why you cannot take Paduka? I was really disturbed with management, but I was part of management, so council decided something I had to go along with. Then I asked Bhakti Caru Maharaj, and he assured me. He said, this is nonsense. Charanamrit is transcendental. We must take Charanamrit. And he was speaking everything according to my favor. What I was talking, and he was saying, yes, yes, yes. Then he was staying in Mirabai house. He came to temple, and then we met on the gate, entrance gate, myself and Brajari Prabhu. And we have said, I gave hug, he gave hug. And then Maharaj wanted to give Brajari hug, but Brajari went back. Because of Corona, he didn't want to touch him. So I said, see Maharaj, he is so afraid. Maharaj laughed. He said, why to be afraid? And next day, Maharaj gave class. And I asked this question for everybody's benefit, that should we not take Charanamrit? Should we do this thing, what temple is utilizing all this thing? A day before, he was supporting me very nicely. And in class, he turned 365 degrees. He said, well, we must follow the law of the land. If government has made this land, if temple has all these things. I was really shocked. So I started arguing with him. Then he said, I'll talk to you privately. So that was the end of the question. You can hear that question answer in his last lecture in Juhu. And then one Mataji asked a question that how to serve a spiritual master in separation when he's not there. So, and thereafter he came to America. Although we told him not to come, but Krishna has his way, we had our way. And we have really lost a great personality. Of course, that is not today to talk, but today is Appearance Day. We are very fortunate that we had association of His Holiness Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj, and we really miss him. He was through and through gentleman. Everything was sweet. His walk was sweet, his talk was sweet, his devotee care was sweet, his prasadam was sweet, his Vaishnava etiquette was sweet, his lectures were sweet, his singing was sweet, and everything was sweet. He was my hero, him and Tamal Krishna Maharaj. These two personalities were my hero. Tamal Krishna Maharaj once told, Prabhupada said that you should dress well. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj also told me, eat well and dress well. So, and same with Bhakti Caru Maharaj. So, yes, they had given a lot to society. Today's society, whatever is there, is due to them. Recently, we lost one of our biggest pillar, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. I mean, in India, we are feeling a vacuum after Maharaj just left. Him and Jayapataka Maharaj were North and South Pole. And after Jayapataka Maharaj, it's like different age, like Satyug has gone and Treta has come, that kind of thing will come. And we are already feeling that pinch. So Prabhupada is calling all these devotees one by one in his service somewhere else. So we all have a great responsibility, all of us devotees, and we should always maintain what we have got from great Vaishnava Acharya like Bhakti Caru Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and many others. And our real service to them will be to follow them. Like Prabhupada said, if you love me, then you follow me. So if you really care for Bhakti Caru Maharaj and you love him, then you must follow his instruction as it is the way he. And one of the instructions that he is well known in the world, a living example of Trinadapi Sunichena. So that we should practice. And on this auspicious day, I pray to Maharaj to bless me so that I can follow his instruction in service of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you, Devakinandan Prabhu, for your wonderful realization and association with Maharaj. It's very nice to hear from our older devotees, such as Devakinandan Prabhu. So now I'd like to call Geeta Mataji to speak a few words. Geeta Mataji is a very wonderful devotee. She's been a long time in this community, and she's heading a Bhakti Vriksha, beautiful Bhakti Vriksha program. So we'd like to hear from her. Because they have, actually, Devakinandan Prabhu has a program, house program, so they have to go. So after Geeta Mataji, we'll have Prabhupada disciple, we'll be able to hear from Prabhupada disciples also.
No, that's okay. His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj ki jai. With the permission of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, can I speak? Thank you, thank you. So I had 3 interactions with Maharaj. It was in 1989 in Mumbai. We used to have Friday evening programs in our house, and whenever Gopal Krishna Maharaj was in town, he would come to do the program. And one day Maharaj came with Bhakti Caru Maharaj together, and there was a sweet exchange between the two of them. As soon as it was time to give the class, Gopal Krishna Maharaj told Bhakti Caru Maharaj, you give. He said, no, you give. He said, no, you give. No, 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 you give. And for 5 minutes, they were holding each other's hand, smiling at each other. And then finally, they said, okay, let's speak together. But then said, no, 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 that's not possible. But then Bhakti Caru Maharaj gave a very, very sweet lecture. That was my first interaction with him. In those days, we didn't have mobile phones, so we didn't take any pictures or videos, but it was a very beautiful class. The second time was, I have a friend in Juhu. She lives very close to the temple. It's been many years I haven't seen her, but I think her name is Radhika something, I don't remember. She makes garlands sometimes. So she told me that my spiritual master is coming. Would you like to come to my house for the program? I said, sure. So when I went there, Bhakti Caru Maharaj came, and my friend asked me, would you like to cook for him? So I asked Maharaj, can I cook for you? And with a very sweet smile, of course, yes, you can cook for me. I will eat that prasadam. So very, very sweet indeed. And the third interaction I had with him was in that room there, Shweta Swarup Prabhu's office there. Maharaj was visiting Atlanta, and this was many years ago. And after giving a class here, he said, if anyone has any personal questions or want to see me personally, we can meet over there. So just 3 of us were over there, myself, my husband, and I don't remember one other devotee. And the questions that I was asking him, I had written them down, but the way he was answering them with so much love, with so much care, and so much concern, and he was not at all in a rush to, answer and just move forward, but very sweetly he answered all the questions. So that was another sweet interaction with him. So we definitely miss him. I didn't have the opportunity to see him since past few years, but thank you for inviting us for this Vyasa puja. Thank you so much. His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So we'll have now we'll call Her Grace Garima to come forward and sing the song Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, and then we'll have Prabhupada disciple glorifying. Back we were supposed to do before this one, but because they have to leave, so we put them earlier.
Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Karaye Dase Trina Peka Hati Hina Gurudev Caru Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Gorima. So now I'd like to call Prabhupada disciples, His Grace Balabhadra Prabhu, to come and speak few words on glorification of His Holiness Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj. Balabhadra Prabhu is a very old devotee of this temple, very, very well, and he's also had a very responsible position as a temple president. He served here for 17 years. It's a very nice service that he has done, and he had wonderful relationship with Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj. So we are very fortunate to hear something from Balabhadra Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So let's give a round of applause for Balabhadra Prabhu.
Thank you. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarane. You okay? Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhube Vacha Patitanam Pavnevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, I was meditating on His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj and what I could say to encourage all of us to follow his example. And what came to mind is a verse or two verses in Bhagavad Gita that, in my mind, perfectly describes his character. Because following in the footsteps of a great devotee is our duty. Mahajano yena katasapanta. But you have to understand those qualities that we should try to emulate. You cannot imitate. It's impossible to imitate Bhakti Caru Maharaj. He had such close relationship with Srila Prabhupada, learning how to cook, doing translation work, as Devakinanda Prabhu was explaining so many things. But what I find most impactful were his qualities that I saw in him, the few times that I had his association. I was just remembering one of the times he came to Atlanta, and I can't remember the devotee's name now. I believe it's Uttam's brother. But we had a program at his home, and Maharaj, the whole program, he sang bhajans and explained the bhajans. And as Devakinanda said, he's sweet in every regard. His voice is sweet, his smile is sweet, his demeanor is sweet, and that evening was a very sweet evening of just bhajans from Bhaktivinoda Thakur and like that. So when I thought about him this morning, this is what came to mind. Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, text 13 and 14. I won't do the Sanskrit. And I want you to meditate on what you hear and see if Maharaj meets the criteria that Krishna gives. Because Krishna is saying the devotee who is described in this verse, 2 verses, is very dear to me. So we can be confident based on this description that Maharaj is very dear to Krishna, based on qualities. Everything is based on qualities. It's not about so many things you might say or so many things you might do. What are the qualities? And those qualities have to be exhibited in your actions. Yat yat acharati shrestha. Whatever great man does, come and men follow. So what he did, Maharaj, he laid down a format, a pathway that all of us can follow, because he didn't do anything coming down from the sky or anything like that. Just by his nature. So these 2 verses are very important. So think about it. When you hear them, if you think this describes Maharaj, one who is not envious. So repeat. That's the first point. I know personally, from dealing with Maharaj, he was not an envious person. Sometimes in the Western society we say he didn't have an envious bone in his body. And every devotee that talks about him talks about his humility and kindness and love. But is a kind friend to all living entities. who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego. So what is that false ego? Thinking myself to be this body, thinking of my position, so many things. So I didn't notice that in him at all. I didn't notice the dominating spirit of false ego. I saw something else in him. Who is equal in both happiness and distress. Toward the end of his life, he was stable, focused on Srila Prabhupada. The so-called suffering in this world was not something that he focused on. It was on devotional service and Krishna consciousness. Who is tolerant, always satisfied. So the first time he came to Atlanta, I told this story before, we had a beautiful garden between the two houses here, vegetable garden. I believe Sachi Sundari managed that. So there were some banana peppers. So some of you might know, it's a big, big yellowish pepper. And they were growing like anything. So Maharaj was so excited when he saw those. He hadn't seen them anywhere in America, and he saw them here. And without even thinking, he just plucked the banana pepper and enjoyed it like that. Okay, you might say, well, shouldn't he have offered to the deities? But I felt that Krishna was so happy that he was so happy to take that nice little banana pepper. It made him so happy. Satisfied, right? Always satisfied. Whatever we get, we should be satisfied. The principle of the Brahmana's life is being satisfied, whatever comes. That's how Brahmanas work, being satisfied. Self-controlled. And engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So I say this with all confidence based on this description here, because Maharaj, he had all of those qualities manifest in his life. So based on that, I'm confident that Krishna was very pleased with him. Especially Srila Prabhupada was very pleased with him. Everyone knows. Anyone who knows Maharaj, they know that Prabhupada was very happy with him. I believe he got first and second at the same time. Is that right? Yeah. Prabhupada was so proud of him that he gave him first and second. I'm not sure about sannyas when that happened, but he's such a wonderful devotee. So we should all take his example to heart, try to follow these qualities, and then please Krishna, please Prabhupada, and for me, try to please my dear God brother. His Holiness, Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So they'll be closing the altar for 15 minutes earlier today. So we're going to have a bhoga offering, but at the same time, in the meantime, the glorification is going to go on. So I'd like to call now, first of all, I'd like to thank His Grace Balabhadra Prabhu for his wonderful speech. Hari Bol. So I'd like to call now His Grace Ghataguraj Prabhu. Ghataguraj Prabhu is a very old disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He lives in Vrindavan most of the time. But he came here in Atlanta in 1971. He came here. At that time, this was not the temple, it was somewhere else. But he visited there, and he had some experience with Atlanta preaching. And he has also very sweet relationship with Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj also. So let's welcome Ghataguraj Prabhu. Hari Bol.
start. Tell me when to start. Okay, just like Balabhadra said, he's a sweet. That's what I was thinking. Because, you know, all devotees are good, but we have to see the good. But I noticed that he seemed to be, I don't know, the sweetest, you know. So one time in Los Angeles temple, I don't remember the year, it was a long time ago, Bhakti Caru Swami came, and I asked him, I just wanted to get him something, so I said, what do you want? And it's hard to, he said, your mercy. It's the way he said it, you know. It's not like Balabhadra also said, it's the quality, not, it's the quality. He had it's a little bit hard to explain, because if someone is it's a great devotee, it's really hard to explain when. So one time it was in Mayapur, I had a little problem, and this devotee spoke Bengali, so I said, Maharaj, could you talk to this devotee for me in Bengali, because, but it was immediately he said, you know, like most people are, you know, in the Krishna conscious, in this kind, they're all busy, especially the gurus and the big, you know, they're all very busy. They don't have much time. But he had all the time in the world for you. He just was so relaxed, and he said, "Oh yes, I'll help you," and he wanted to know everything about all the details, and he was going to talk and everything in Bengali. And then another time, in Bhaktivedanta Manor in London, Bhakti Caru Swami came, and many of his disciples were there, and they always made a big feast, and they cooked really special prasad there. And then he had a kirtan in the temple room there, and the whole temple room was full. And he sang for 3 hours. And my daughter was 10 at that time, and she knew Mridanga. She'd been in Vrindavan for 10 years, and she knew Mridanga and harmonium and everything. So she played, he said something to her in Bengali, and then, because she knows Hindi and Bengali and English, so he said something to her in Bengali, and she just started playing Mridanga, and she played with him for 3 hours, the Mridanga, and nonstop. And it was just so, you know, all the kirtans are good, but he just kept singing and singing, and 3 hours, just like it was just it's really hard to explain. It was just so nectar. And then another time in New York, oh yeah, so he was going to give Bhagavatam class in London at the Bhaktivedanta Manor. So he was sitting on the Vyasasan. So I got the garland because I wanted to put the garland on him. And so I came up to the Vyasasan, and he looked up. And you know how everyone says, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. But when he said it, he says, oh, like I'm his friend from Vaikuntha or something. Oh, how are you? But it's the way he said it. If you can't see, I'm sorry, but I can't describe. I guess if you've had any, it was so nectarine the way he said it. And then it's like, well, I'm fine now that I got your darshan, you know. So I put the garland on him, and he's so appreciative of every little, I don't know how a devotee can be. So it's a vipralamba from him. The separation from him is really, really hard to live with, because we need devotees like that talk to be with. But Krishna, the way I see it is that when you're too good, Krishna takes you. Like Tribhuvanath, I don't know if you know him, and so many other devotees that were Vishnujan, and so he's so good that I think Krishna just took him. That's what I think, because this so-called Corona thing. Anyway, he didn't even want the tube actually, but anyway, that's another story. So anyway, so one time in New York, it was Rath Yatra time, and Bhakti Caru Swami was there, and so he was in the temple, and he was talking to like about 25 Indian devotees, like they were, I think some were his disciples, and he was just talking very nicely to them, and I just wanted to see him for a minute and then go. I didn't want to disturb his, he was talking, but so I just went to see him, and I pay my pranams, but he immediately looked up and said, "Oh, come," and he stood up, and he just left them, and he came to me, and I'm like this, and he grabs my hands, and he holds my hands, and he just keeps holding your hands, and it's overwhelming the way he had some, you know what I'm trying to say, Balabhadra? So he says, "Oh," and he had all the time, and he just keeps talking, and "How are you, and how is your," and on and on. Like I said, "I don't disturb you. You're talking to these people, to these devotees, and they need your association." He said, "No," and he just kept going on. It's the way he's Mr. Etiquette, like he wrote the book, he wrote the book, the Vaishnav Etiquette. You know that, right? Did you all read that? Well, I suggest you read it again. Anyway, Mr. Etiquette. So, and he was so, I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words, because I guess the only way to describe him is with Sanskrit, because there's no English equivalent to the nectar of his association. He's like a deity full of honey or something. He's like that's what I was thinking. Who is the sweetest? I mean, I don't use that word sweet, but I mean, they asked me to talk, so that's why I'm trying to. Of course, you all know this because you're his disciples, right? I mean, how many, raise your hand who is disciples here? Who is his disciple? So how many's here? Like, how many? Anyway, you know what I mean. So, I'm trying to think of some other things. Let me think a minute. I should have wrote it down. Oh, so in Lachua, he came one time, to Lachua, so I seen him on the parking lot. So he's walking across the grass to the temple to give Bhagavatam class. So I went out to see him, and he's just so, he just grabs my hand, he's holding my hand, walking along, holding my hand, all the way to, and then I couldn't talk because when you associate with him, you get ecstatic emotions. Always, have you ever seen a happier devotee than him? Have you ever seen him angry? Have you ever seen him chastise anyone? I mean, he's like a walking lotus full of honey or something. He's never, he's always happy. And so, I'm sorry, it's very hard to, and then, I used to talk about all kinds of things. I can't remember I'm trying to, I should have wrote it down, but I'm sorry. Anyway, how much more time I got? I think that's, any questions about him? Or, I'm good with questions. Anyway, anyway, again, I'm going to say it. The separation from him is the most intense. I mean, of course, we miss Prabhupada, but I feel Prabhupada's still here because he's on the Vyasa-san. He's in his books. I feel he's still here. But Bhakti the separation, the Vipralamba is too intense because I need to talk to him. You know, there's certain people you need to talk to about things, anyway, I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Gadagraj, for your sweet words, wonderful realization. Let's give a round of applause for Gadagraj. Haribo. So now I would request His Grace Parampara Prabhu. He's very another old disciple, Prabhupada, here in Atlanta, Jatra. He has served this temple for many, many years and is still serving the community. And we are very fortunate that we have so many Prabhupada disciples, and we get to hear about the Prabhupada, about Prabhupada's God brothers and their God brothers. So it's all very nice experience that they have and realization about Prabhupada, about Prabhupada's disciples, and also Prabhupada's God brothers. So this is a wonderful thing that you can hear from Prabhupada disciples. So really thankful that Parampara Prabhu have come for this wonderful occasion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Budalaya Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarisha Tarane Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhattavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My encounters with Bhakti Caru Maharaj were a few, all basically here in Atlanta. I was in India once or twice, way back in the early 80s. I'm sure he was there, but my personal contact with him was very, very small. He was famous. He was famous among the devotees because he came, okay, well, think about it, Srila Prabhupada's mission. In the 40s and the 50s, he was in India, but he was not getting a response. So, and he had been ordered by his Guru Maharaj to come to the West. So he came to the West. By the 70s, Srila Prabhupada is a general, a commanding general of a worldwide movement. And back in India, now he is attracting qualified and wonderful, wonderful devotees. Devotees like Bhakti Caru Maharaj, like Gaur Govinda Maharaj. Bhakti Caru Maharaj was just supremely qualified, was immediately recognized and promoted. It's like a general on the battlefield, immediately promoted, and was given the task of translating Prabhupada's books. He was translating into English, and Bhakti Caru Maharaj is given the task to translate them back into Bengali. This is Prabhupada's own language. It's his native tongue, but Bhakti Caru Maharaj, the literary work he was given, he was trusted with that literary work back into the native language of Lord Chaitanya's home place. He was trained by the best. He was immediately brought into Prabhupada's inner circle. It's just unbelievable. He was famous among us little rank and file devotees here in the West. I didn't know that much, but by the grace of God, by the grace of Krishna, he was attracted to come to New Panihati, probably by the force of the merciful Nitai Gaurachandra. I think it must be from the contact with Jayapataka Maharaj, right? That's how he first started coming here, and then started coming regularly. Then it was just like Gopal Krishna Maharaj. They would start coming regularly to come to New Panihati, and instantly by their influence, they start preaching in America. It is part of Lord Chaitanya's worldwide mission. This is a mission. This is not East and West. Lord Chaitanya, Prabhupada was not immediately successful in India, but Indians were coming to America. He came to America. Then it's back and forth, and wherever people are, they hear the message of Lord Chaitanya, their influence. And so I'm thinking of some of the accomplishments of Bhakti Chur Maharaj. I'm a little incoherent. I'm sorry. I wasn't really prepared to say, but think about it. He translated Prabhupada's books into Bengali, and very potent force in the BBT. Responsibility for devotees is GBC and Guru. What about the TV program, the biography of Srila Prabhupada in the television media? What amazing innovation! Bhakti Chur Maharaj ki jai! On and on and on. Bhakti Chur Maharaj, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, we really like to thank Parampara Prabhu. Wonderful realization. Is it not? Wonderful realization. Haribol. So that's the nectar you get when you get to hear from different Prabhupada disciples. So thank you, Parampara, for coming and speaking to us wonderfully about the glories of Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj. Bhakti Caru Maharaj has wonderful qualities, ocean of qualities. When I remember one time, Vedasar Prabhu, he was calling Maharaj and he spoke to Maharaj, Maharaj, why don't you become a GBC for Atlanta? And Maharaj said, no, I don't want to become a GBC, but whatever help you need, I'll give that. But I'll not become a GBC, I'll come and help you. And then I was there sitting next to him. I said, Maharaj, no, you should be a GBC here. And then we have so many Bengali community, all this. Maharaj said, no, I have too many Jones. So Maharaj declined on that one. But Maharaj said, I'll regularly come in Panihati festival, and any support you need, I'll give that. And Maharaj, since that, Maharaj is always helpful. Even when the temple management here, they decided to build something in the back, Maharaj immediately came forward. He said, I'll give $100,000. Immediately he said, I'll give $100,000 and you can do the project. And then Vedasar Prabhu went to Deland and he got that nice model made. He also showed in the TV. In Sunday we showed the TV that what's going to come up in that project. It was a very wonderful project. He got a disciple to do it. But somehow the project went behind. He couldn't do it. But Maharaj had a wonderful, he wanted to have wonderful achievement for Atlanta. He liked it, this project. And also I remember one time, me and Ghanasham Prabhu, we went to Lakshmana Prabhu's house to take prasadam. And he took prasadam. I think Lakshmana Prabhu's wife cooked nice prasadam for Maharaj. And it was wonderful prasadam she cooked. And Maharaj was eating this Karela thing. And Maharaj told Lakshmana Prabhu, where do you got this Karela from? You got it from India? He said, no, we got it from Patel brother. But she cooked so wonderfully, and he just kept on eating that Karela thing. Just kept on eating they also made some beautiful rice with some ghee, and it was very nice, wonderful taste. I was also eating with him, and Vedasar Prabhu was there, and other devotees. It was very nice, wonderful. And then Maharaj said, I'll come back here again to take prasad. I was actually collecting for Mayapur. So Maharaj at that time, he was not a GBC member or a guru. He was a sannyasi, but he was heading up the Mayapur BBT. So in the morning, he used to wake up 2 o'clock and he used to write books He would translate different books in Bengali language. And my room was just next to his room. So I was sleeping there. And then Maharaj, one day morning, he waked up. I think he was a little sick. So he woke me up. He said, I am sick, so I need some help. So immediately I came. There was his servant, but his servant was not there. So me and Advaita Prabhu waked up and we helped Maharaj. And then Maharaj, he used to serve Prabhupada. Every day he had a Prabhupada deity, and he used to take care of the deity very nicely. And every morning he used to worship that deity. So that day he couldn't do it, so he asked us to do it. So we did the worship. And then, after a few hours, I see Maharaj come back and he's writing the books. He's translating the books back again. I said, Maharaj, you are sick? He said, no, I'm okay now. So he started translating. So he gave a lot of time in translating all these Prabhupada books in Bengali language. And in this he had done so much service to Srila Prabhupada. And then he used to regularly visit to Mayapur. He was staying in Calcutta, in Rainy Park, but he used to go and visit Mayapur, and he used to take care of the BBT, and he would see the Prabhupada book getting printed, the books that he has translated into Bengali get printed. And he was also, there was a newsletter, Sankirtan paper, it's called Sankirtan Samachar. So he used to do the edit proof for that Sankirtan Samachar in beginning days. And then Maharaj, I know he used to love eating South Indian food. So one time in Calcutta, he sent me to buy a dosa. He said, go and buy a dosa. Because he came from some preaching work and there was no prasadam. So I think there's a devotee named Lochanda. He passed away. He was staying in Los Angeles. He passed away. But he was staying in Calcutta at that time. So he came to Lochanda's office and he said, Lochan, I want dosa. Can you arrange a dosa? So I was there. So Maharaj said, can you go and buy the dosa? So I went and bought a nice dosa for him. And he ate it. And at that place that I bought the dosa, they're all really Orthodox Hindu. And they make dosa without onion and garlic. It's very pure. So I went and bought dosa and I brought for Maharaj. And then Maharaj offered, actually he did not take without offering. He offered first to Krishna, then he took as a prasad. And this way Maharaj ate the dosa. And I said, Maharaj, how do you like the dosa? He said, this is the best dosa. This is the best dosa. So he had this dosa. And there's some like that. Then in Mayapur, one time I had a little problem with the Mayapur management. And I was thinking whether I should stay in Mayapur or no, or I should go and do some seva somewhere else. So at that time, Maharaj became just a new GBC in Mayapur, and he became also Guru. So I came to Maharaj, and I was actually heading up all the departmental. I was the chairman for the department heads in Mayapur, all the departments. There was 30 departments. So then I said, Maharaj, look like it's time for me to move on with some other service. Then Maharaj said, what is the problem? Just reveal your mind to me. So then I had like almost half an hour meeting with him, and I revealed my mind to him. And then next thing he does, he put his foot and on my head. He said, this full blessing, that you stay in Mayapur and continue with your seva. So then he said, okay, I'll speak to the then he spoke for me to the Mayapur management. And then the problem was very quickly been taken care of. And very easily helped me. And then he told me, if you want to go to United States, I can help you. So then I said, Maharaj, that time I really didn't have any desire to come to foreign countries. I just wanted to serve Mayapur. So he said, no, if you come, then I can help you. I'm always going there. So if you like to do some seva, there also I can help you. So then I said, Maharaj, I'll think about it. So in a few years' time, I still continued my seva in Mayapur. Then later on, I wanted to really desire to come to America. I went to him. He said, okay, I have my blessing for you. You can go. So then I came here actually. So this is a nice, wonderful. And Maharaj used to sometime, he was very good in Vaishnava etiquette. He was very good in Vaishnava etiquette. So he wanted that the disciples, especially grand disciples, maintains a very good etiquette for Prabhupada disciples. Because when Prabhupada left, and in those days in Mayapur, there were so many Prabhupada disciples, sometimes the local devotees did not maintain a proper etiquette with Prabhupada disciples. So Maharaj didn't like. So when Maharaj became a GBC and Guru for Mayapur, he especially saw that this etiquette has been maintained in Mayapur, especially for Prabhupada disciples. And we take care of them. And I saw Maharaj during the centenary of Prabhupada, even those disciples who left for many, many years, he would call them, said, please come back and serve Prabhupada's movement. He would personally call them. And whenever he would see them, he would talk to them. In this way, he would encourage people to come back to Prabhupada's seva, service, especially to Prabhupada disciples. So these are all wonderful achievement by Bhakti Caru Maharaj. That's like Parampara Prabhu said, he did Abhay Charan Seal. I remember when the Abhay Charan Seal came to India, and there was a TV show. Every Sunday, there was a TV show for Abhay Charan. Every devotee would stop there, all seven, they would come and watch the Abhay Charan serial in Vrindavan, Mayapur. Such a wonderful achievement. And Maharaj, especially, he would show that movie in Mayapur during the Gaur Purnima. He would personally come there and show that movie to everyone, that what he has achieved in Prabhupada's Abhay Charan serial. So they say he had a wonderful achievement, and Maharaj is a very good instrumental for Prabhupada's mission. We really miss him. So whatever seva he has done to Prabhupada, it will be always remembered in generations after generations. Jai Srila Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj ki jai. So now, because tomorrow I have Mangala, so I will now hand over to Kartik Prabhu. He will take care. Now is the disciple. This is a glorification for the disciples because the Vyasa puja, it is representing Guru as representative of Vasudev. So it is the duty of the disciple. On the Vyasa puja day, you glorify the spiritual master. And if you have done any offense while serving the spiritual master, this is the day to ask for forgiveness. And Guru is very merciful on his birthday. He'll forgive you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We're almost at the end of the program. We just have a few disciples of Maharaj to give their offering. First, we'd like to ask Sumohan Gopal Prabhu to please come up and say his glorification. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Caru Swami Namne Signa Cheta Supnita Vagmiyam Chara Sa Plutam Pabupad Gataprana Nami Bhakti Caru Param Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pasharini Nivishesha Chinnavari Bhashatri Siddharini. So for the sake of time, I'll read my offering. Dear Guru Maharaja, please accept my humble obeisances to your lotus feet on this auspicious occasion of your 79th Vyasa puja. Our glories to Srila Prabhupada, our glories to your divine grace. It's been 5 long years since the disappearance of your Vapu. It's certainly not easy for me to accept this fact. Even after this long, I see your videos, I hear your Vani, I think that you're here, somewhere on this planet traveling to your next destination to deliver the fallen souls. Then my mind says that you're not here. But then you had mentioned, quote, do not deceive yourself, thinking that I am gone. I instructed you not to trust your senses, so do not trust your senses and think that I am gone. If you love me, then find out where I am. So the mind is fooling me a lot. As such, I try to connect with you by chanting. As you mentioned, when we both are chanting, we are connected to Krishna. I meditate on the Shastric aspect of your tattva, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.151. The living entity is wandering in the cycle of birth and death in various species of life. But by the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master, one received the seed of the creeper of devotional service. Hence, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, one received the seed of devotional service. This verse continues to remind me of the mercy you bestowed upon me in 2019. in DeLand, Florida when you gave me initiation. This is the best gift one can ask for, a gift that I have waited millions of births for. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Then, of course, I remember your chastisement. It was at our home, in which you so kindly agreed to bless us with your association by cooking chow mein noodles. Unfortunately, it was the only chastisement I got. I was told to soak my initiation beads in mustard oil by a senior devotee. So you happened to notice the initiation beads in a jar full of mustard oil in the kitchen. Then you asked very gravely to my wife, "Whose beads are these?" To my wife replied, "Those are my Prabhu's beads." Then you said, "Why are they here in this jar?" And your voice got even more grave. Then I knew in just 2 months after initiation, I already messed up. What kind of foolish disciple am I? So I was explaining the reasons for soaking my beads in the oil, but you didn't want to hear it. You asked me to wash it off, and you carried on. But the whole time I was just in anxiety, thinking what you must be thinking about me. But at the airport, when it was time to separate, you embraced me so hard that I still feel the embrace to this very day. As such, I understood Guru forgives the disciple when the disciple sincerely tries to rectify himself. There are a lot of memories I can reflect on, but I feel more important than reflection on memories or Shastric aspect of Guru Tattva is how I can please you. I recollect many instructions in your lectures, but I felt there was one point you mentioned that don't just try to become an expert in Shastras, Gyanis, but develop love for Krishna, Bhakta. So become a Bhakta, not Jnani. So this is my meditation. Please bless me, Guru Maharaj, so I can follow this very important instruction. As it is said, Krishna Prema is the ultimate goal. So please help me try to endeavor to reach that goal so that one day I shall have the opportunity to personally serve you, all the uncles that have left this material world, and Srila Prabhupada. I wish you a very happy Vyasa Puja, Guru Maharaj. I pray to you to please make me a devotee and help me refine my spiritual life so that I can be qualified to come back to your lotus feet. Your worthless servant and son. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your wonderful, heartfelt glorification of Bhakti Caru Swami. Next up, we have Her Grace Champakalata Mataji. If you could come up and give us your glorification. Hari Bol.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य शतारिणे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति चारु स्वामिनिति नामिने स्निग्धा चेता सुप्रणीता वाग्मीनाम जरसामृतम प्रभुपाद गता प्राणा नौमी भक्ति चारुपदम. Hare Krishna, my dear Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories unto your lotus feet. Please accept my humble obeisances. Happy 79th Vyasa puja to you. Please bless me so that I can continue my Krishna consciousness. Life is not the same as before in your absence. We miss you dearly, Guru Maharaj. You serve Srila Prabhupada so dearly that everyone calls you Prabhupada man. I also have a desire to serve you and Srila Prabhupada eternally. At the end of my life, wherever you and Srila Prabhupada are there, that's where I want to be. You dedicated your whole life to spread Krishna consciousness amongst the ignorant mass of people. Your kirtans can be heard in all 14 planetary systems. Your sweet melodious voice can also pierce through the hearts of atheists and give them Krishna Prema. Guru Maharaj, we dearly miss you and we just always want to feel your presence. Like Srila Prabhupada always used to say, my Guru Maharaj is always by my side. Similarly, even though I'm unqualified, I'm not deserving to be your Guru Maharaj, to be your disciple, but I always want to feel your presence And I have this small request to be there by my side always. Guru Maharaj, I just wanted to share something with you, that this year I conducted Bhagavad Gita classes for children. I remember you used to say, and there is a quote also where you said, instead of children learning Jack and Jill went up the hill, let them learn Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta, Yuyutsavaha. So, making that as your desire for children to learn Bhagavad Gita shlokas, I conducted a vacation batch for 18 days, 18 chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And by your blessings and Srila Prabhupada mercy, there were 80 to 90 kids joining every day. And they completed hearing whole Bhagavad Gita with a lot of fun activities. Guru Maharaj, I remember one time I asked you, what pleases you the most? You replied me, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. After hearing this, I asked you second question. I asked you, Guru Maharaj, how can one serve spiritual master the best? You immediately replied by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Guru Maharaj, I humbly seek your blessings that I chant every day, but I have not developed the taste to chant the holy name. And I beg at your lotus feet on this auspicious occasion that please give me your blessings to develop this taste. The way we sing this bhajan, O He Vaishnav Thakur, Dayara Sagar, Odase Karuna Kori. I want to run after you wherever you are and keep begging that give us Krishna, because only Acharyas can give us Krishna. So I'm begging you to give us Krishna Prema. My only aspiration in this life is to become your servant, follow your instructions eternally, and engage in the service of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Your useless servant, Champaklata Sakhidasi.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. We have one more person to give us glorification. Next up is His Grace Naveen Prabhu. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. So, it's a little difficult to glorify such a wonderful personality. Where do you find the words, So, I was listening to some classes earlier from Guru Maharaj, and I thought I'll just share something I heard from one of the classes. So, Guru Maharaj would get so happy when he would talk about Srila Prabhupada and his experiences with Srila Prabhupada. And he would just be filled up with so much joy and so much enthusiasm to preach and to give Krishna consciousness to everyone as he spoke about Srila Prabhupada. So a very nice Leela that I think you'll enjoy hearing. Guru Maharaj was explaining that in Vrindavan one day, as Parampara Prabhu explained, when Guru Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada's first instruction to Guru Maharaj was to please translate the books from English into Bengali. So Prabhupada translated from Sanskrit to English, and then Guru Maharaj's instruction was to please translate from English to Bengali. And this happened after the Kumbh Mela, actually. Guru Maharaj joined in Mayapur, and in Mayapur he was staying there for a long time, but he wasn't getting association of Srila Prabhupada. And so the devotee said, oh, Srila Prabhupada is actually going to be in Kumbh Mela, so a group of devotees are going there. So they encouraged Guru Maharaj to go with that group. And it was a very senior group. His Holiness Chaitanya Maharaj, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, very, very senior. So they took Guru Maharaj and they went to Kumbh Mela. And Guru Maharaj was there, and so when they left, so many leelas happened in Kumbh Mela, but when they left, Srila Prabhupada decided to leave early. So they went onto a train. And on the train, Srila Prabhupada had a carriage, and next to his carriage was the devotee carriage. And they were, one morning, Guru Maharaj got up, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Chaitanya Maharaj, basically, he explains like this. They pulled him out of his carriage, and they shoved him into Srila Prabhupada's carriage. So when he just went into Srila Prabhupada's carriage, Srila Prabhupada was sitting nicely on a chair, on a seat. So Srila Prabhupada offered him a seat, and Guru Maharaj declined the seat. He said, no, I'll sit on the floor. He didn't want to sit next to Srila Prabhupada. And he sat on the floor, and this is where the instruction was given, that you please translate my books to English. So the senior devotees explained to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and his nature, his background, his intelligence, all these things, and Srila Prabhupada saw fit for him to take that instruction. And because of that, Guru Maharaj had a lot of intimate association with Srila Prabhupada. He was basically one of the only devotees who could go to Srila Prabhupada at any time of the day and speak to him, because he was translating the book. So Srila Prabhupada would always be open to receiving him. And as that happened, Guru Maharaj also became Prabhupada's personal secretary and personal cook. So it was a wonderful experience. So Guru Maharaj explains that the one day Srila Prabhupada asked him to do some shopping for vegetables, and he gave him a list of so many things, like 2 types of spinach and potato, all these things. And one of the items was bitter melon. And so he put it on the list, and he went to the store, and he came back. And then he went to Srila Prabhupada, and he said, Srila Prabhupada, I have everything. So Prabhupada was going through the list. And as he was going through the list, then Guru Maharaj said he remembered he forgot the bitter melon. So he was going like this, and then when Srila Prabhupada said bitter melon, Guru Maharaj said actually he was feeling so bad, he lied. He said, yes, I have the bitter melon. So then Prabhupada said, okay, please go and fetch them and bring them. I want to see the freshness and things. So Guru Maharaj was like flabbergasted. He was like so bewildered. He's like, oh, Krishna, now I have to reveal to Srila Prabhupada that I've lied to him. So he went back there, and he was like in a daze. He explains he was in a daze. He said he didn't know how he was going to tell Srila Prabhupada this, because Srila Prabhupada would obviously chastise him for lying. And he was praying to Krishna. He said he prayed to Krishna so deeply that day that, he felt that some Shakti inside of him. And then he was walking, and he said normally when he goes back to Prabhupada's room, he takes a normal way, like a standard way. But on this day, he just decided to take a different way, like go around the Gurukul or through some balcony. He wanted to take longer, to get there, so he doesn't get to Srila Prabhupada. And as he was walking, thinking like, he preparing himself for this now chastisement for lying, he looked to the side, and growing on this balcony was one green bitter melon. And he just was like overjoyed and, so happy. And he just grabbed that bitter melon, and he went back, and he got the rest of the vegetables, and he took it to Srila Prabhupada, and he showed him. And he was giving it out like this, saying, Prabhupada, this is the 2 spinach, this is, and he picked the bitter melon up very last. And then he said, Srila Prabhupada, and the bitter melon. And he put it there. And then he said, Srila Prabhupada looked at him, but with a very, focused sort of expression. And he said, bitter melon? And, just through that interaction, Guru Maharaj said he was convinced that he knew that Srila Prabhupada knew what had happened, And yes, it was a very, very special pastime. And also, Guru Maharaj spent a lot of time in Atlanta. Before he left the planet, he came here for Janmashtami one year, Ratha Yatra the next year. He did cow protection programs. He was very fond of Atlanta and the Atlanta community. And we were very fortunate to get his association. He was so kind, actually, to give us his association. Normally for Janmashtami, he'd be in London, the Bhaktivedanta Manor or Mayapur, big, occasions, but he spent it here with us. And he showed us so much compassion and so much love. And the very last instance, or very last service I got to offer to Guru Maharaj was here in Atlanta in the guest house. It was, I think, during Panihati, and him and Shrutta Kirti Prabhu was sitting in the guest house, and they were talking about Srila Prabhupada, and they were just reminiscing, God brothers, so it was very nectarian, you know. They were just talking about their own exchanges. And I was just sitting there. It was very late. The program was over. Everything was done. Devotees were gone home, but I was just sitting and listening. And then it was like close to midnight, they both got up and they said, okay, now we'll go and take rest. So I also assumed, okay, I'll say goodnight to Guru Maharaj and I'll leave. So as I was leaving, Guru Maharaj called me. He said, no, you come to my room. So I'm like, it's so late. What would Guru Maharaj, what does he want to say? So anyway, when he went to the room, he said, I need you to give me a massage. So I was very taken back. I've never given anyone massage ever in my life. Now your spiritual master is asking for massage. So I said, no, Guru Maharaj, we'll ask Ganesham, because Ganesham used to give the massage when Guru Maharaj came here, you know. He said, no, Ganesham is sleeping, you do it. I said, I can try, Guru Maharaj. And so I went and I started massaging him. And yeah, it was incredible. His body was soft like cotton, you know, like white cotton wool. It was so soft. I've never felt anything like that before. And we were doing the back first. So I was doing the massaging, and I was a little anxiety, you know, because I didn't want to do anything wrong. So I started sweating, and I was like wiping my sweat, trying not to fall on Guru Maharaj and massaging him. And after like 30 minutes, he fell asleep. So I was walking out, but the floor creaks when you walk. So I was tiptoeing out. I tiptoed, but the creaks were still there. And he got up. And then he looked at me. So I was like, yes, Guru Maharaj. He said, no, now you can do the front. And then he turned over. And then I started doing the front. And I did the shoulders all the way to the feet, the legs, everything. And after another 30, 45 minutes, he fell asleep again. And I left. So that time I was super quiet the second time. And then I came back in the morning, and the first thing he called me, he said, Naveen, come here. And I was like, you know, just trying to understand. Guru Maharaj is like so happy calling me, like what? He said, you did so good last night. And I felt so nice. It was like just a simple compliment, but it just melted my heart. I'm sorry if I'm making this about me, but these are the experiences I shared with my spiritual master. So I just, you know, thought I could share it with you. So he was very, very kind to me and very, very compassionate to me. And he was very, very special. And on his Vyasa puja, we would like to thank him for everything that he has done for us and for our community, for our disciples. And we ask him to please continue to guide us and shower his mercy on us. And please forgive us for any of offenses we may have committed in our service to the Vaishnavas and in our service to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing those absolutely amazing pastimes, Naveen. Last up, very last glorification, we have two young devotees, Garima and Krishna. They're going to be saying very short offerings together. And after which we'll be having a short Pushpanjali and Guru Puja for Bhakti Caru Swami. Very well.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Happy Vyasa puja, Maharaj. I feel very happy that on this day a great personality was born. Thank you for everything you have done. You have served Srila Prabhupada very dearly, and you have made the Abhay Charan, and you have helped Prabhupada in a lot of his accomplishments. I remember when you played ball with me and Krishna and made chowmein in our house. Your kirtans are so wonderful that people came just to hear your kirtan. Your chowmein is so good that I felt it was from Goloka. Thank you for everything. We still miss you, but we will always follow your instructions forever.
Happy 79th 79th birthday Guru Maharaj. Bhakti Caru Maharaj, my dear friend. We always used to play ball, but he's always my still dear friend. I love him the best because I always used to hug him every day I see him. I miss you, but I still love you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much to all the wonderful devotees and the Prabhupada disciples, God brothers of Maharaj, for sharing such wonderful pastimes and glorification of Maharaj. We now ask everyone to please rise. We'll be having a short Pushpanjali, offering of flower petals to Maharaj, and then a Guru Puja afterwards. We'll be handing out some petals, flower petals, so everyone can take a little bit, and we'll be offering petals 3 times to Maharaj, so make sure you save some for each time.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति चारु स्वामी नीति नामिने स्निग्धा चेता सुप्रणेता वाग्मी नाम च रसाप्लुतम् प्रभुपादागता प्राणा नौमि भक्ति चारुपदम् एष पुष्पांजलि। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता भक्ति चारु स्वामी नीति नामिने स्निग्धा चेता सुप्रणेता वाग्मी नाम च रसाप्लुतम् प्रभुपादागता प्राणा नौमि भक्ति चारुपदम् एष पुष्पांजलि। नमो कृष्ण पदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति चारु स्वामी नीति नामिने स्निग्धा चेता सुप्रणेता वाग्मी नाम च रसाप्लुतम् प्रभुपादागता प्राणा नौमि भक्ति चारुपदम् एष पुष्पांजलि। जय।
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Oh Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Bhakti Caru Swami Guru Deva, Bhakti Caru Swami Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Samsara Dava Nalalida Loka Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatvam Samsara Dava Nalalida Loka Ladaya Karuna Ganaganatvam Praptasya Kalanya Gunanavasyam Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrinda Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasura Sena Romanchakam Pashrutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrinda Shivigrahara Dana Nityanana Shingaratan Man Diramajanado Yuktasya Pakam Shani Undatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrinda Chaturvida Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swadana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha Tritveva Triptin Bhajata Sadeva Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrinda Shiradika Madhavayora Para Madhurya Lila Gunarupanana Pratikshanaatmadana lulupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrinda Nikunja Yuno Ratikeli Siddhyai Yaya Libiryuktera Pekshaniya Ratikeli Siddhyai Yaya Libiryuktera Pekshaniya Tatrati Daksha Dati Vallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vrinda तस्तता व्याप्त एव सात्वी तस्य तावा भव एव सात्वी किन्तु प्रभुर्या प्रिया एव तस्य वन्दे गुरु श्री चरणारविन्दा यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्तु वांस्तस्य यस्य त्रिसंज्ञं वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Oh Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Bhakti Caru Swami Guru Deva, Bhakti Caru Swami Guru Deva. Jaya Bhakti Caru Swami Guru Deva, Bhakti Caru Swami Guru Deva. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Srila Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Chitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakachaja Astottara Sutta Shishimad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakachaja Astottara Sutta Shishimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki His Holiness Bhakti Caru Swami Maharaj ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki Jamunamai Gangamai ki Samveda Bhaktivinoda ki Harinam Sankirtan ki, Sankirtan Jagna ki, Transcendental Book Distribution ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Vyasa Puja Mahotsav ki, Sri Gaunitai ki, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Go Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj ki jai.
Vilatangana Khalae, Vilatangana Khalae, Ito Nishingha, Parato Nishingha, Ito Nishingha, Parato Nishingha, Jato Jato Jamitato Nishingha, Jato Jamitato Nishingha, Pahir Nishingha, Hridaye Nishingha, Hir Nishingha, Hridaye Nishingha, Narasingha Madhing Sharanang Prapadye, Singha Madhing Sharanang Prapadye, Savakara Kamala Bhare Nakham, Madhuta Shringam, Dalita Hiranyakashipu, Danya Bhingam, Keshavadita Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Savakara Kamala Hare, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki, Jai Bhaktiraj Prahlad Maharaj ki, Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Go Brahmanande, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining us on behalf of the disciples and well-wishers of His Holiness Bhakti Caru Swami. We're very grateful for each and every one of you being here today. Please make sure you take some prasad. Prasad is now being served outside in the back. Hare Krishna.